Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about a little announcement that I mentioned. I actually dropped the announcement on Sunday, so I'm sure some of you have already seen it. So I wanted to talk through that, kind of give you my opinion as far as why that came about. And while we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and play some of Avalon, and I'm going to show you some new areas that are in Avalon as we're playing through this and as I'm talking through this. Shouldn't be a very long video. Just wanted to kind of give you some instead of a quick blurb in the Discord, really why I went through and decided to go down this route. For those of you that have not seen, I just officially signed, or not signed, but I came into an agreement with Madlan Media, which is a new media kind of firm, marketing firm, that's going to focus on Web 3.0 games, really focusing on Wax to start out with, and then we'll go ahead and transition potentially to other blockchains. The real focus of the marketing agency is to focus specifically on the project teams. So what's going to happen is we'll have, or I'll be part of two different types of projects, I guess you could call them. I'm going to be part of Warrior Line Gaming. I actually run it as I have been, and there's going to be no change to Warrior Line Gaming. It's going to be the exact same way, where it's going to be player focused content. What I'm going to try and do is provide as much guides, as many game reviews, just trying to give players, both new and existing to the blockchains, just as much information as I possibly can, in my personal opinion. Again, nothing I provide is financial advice. It's all my personal opinion, so please understand that. But it's going to be focused on the players, and everything that I put out there is going to be trying to help players as much as possible. So that's going to be the continued focus for Warrior Lion Gaming, and why I've kind of partnered up with Madlan Media is because they will focus specifically on the project side of the house. So we'll have both sides covered. And the goal is for them to, or for us as part of Madlan Media, is to really help project teams put a player focused marketing strategy in place. As you all know, we need a new meta, new standard for not only for players, and I've been promoting this for since day one, that players should focus on really entertainment value in a game instead of the clicker trying to get ROI. ROI is great. ROI is a great addition, a great benefit, secondary item. But what we should be focusing on as players is really the entertainment value, and that's the only way that the market's really going to grow from a player perspective. Going along with that, and I think it's a very close relationship that goes along with it, is the fact that I think that I think projects teams need to also make adjustments, not just focusing on less clickers and more entertainment games, but I think from their marketing strategy, unfortunately, like 95% of projects, their marketing strategy is it's basically shill and cash grab types of projects, or cash grab types of drops, that are basically, it kind of handcuffs the projects themselves, where the project team will need to go through the process of, instead of focusing on the players and the community and all those things, they're going to instead have to focus on new developments, new developments, new developments. The only way they're going to continue to get players is by developing new features, whether it makes sense or doesn't make sense within the game. And that's a big problem, though. It's nice because they'll get that initial grab of cash, but the challenge that they're going to run into is they're either going to run out of ideas, they're going to keep losing players, and have to keep finding new players, which right now is incredibly limited. That's why we see so many projects are going across blockchains, multiple blockchains, which I think is a good idea. But why not do multiple blockchains to get a bigger audience, but also keep your existing audience? So Madlan Media is really going to focus on three aspects of the game. One, still going to do the promotion, still going to do the hype, still get the tension out there, get the attention of as many players within the blockchain as possible, plus other blockchains and plus Web 2.0 gaming. So that is pillar number one. Still focus on the hype, but do it responsibly, I guess you could say. Obviously, no lying. Obviously, no fake promises and going that route. Pillar two and three are very much ignored by, I would say, 90% of the project teams that are out there. And that is onboarding new players, giving new players the resources that they need to adapt quickly to a project and feel comfortable as quickly as possible with the project by either guides, answering questions, checklists, just things that bring new players in and they can say, oh, that's how we play. I'm good. All right. I'm not confused. Not things like that. Basically onboarding them, making them happy as quickly as possible with the game, as much as you can, depending on their play style. That's pillar number two. And pillar number three, you would think would be completely obvious, but there are so many project teams that ignore this. That's trying to keep existing players. It's funny how few projects take the community aspect as a forefront, as it's a necessity, not necessarily just a nice to have. And part of the community is keeping your existing players happy. Obviously, not catering to them and just giving them stuff to keep them, but keeping them engaged, keeping them happy, keeping them feel like they're being heard, and actually hearing them. And if they have a good point, then you make an adjustment to it. So that's going to be pillar number three: is really putting a player retention type of focus into the project teams. And I think with these three pillars, project teams are going to have much longer term success, a much stronger community. Players are going to be much happier to be involved with the project itself. And if you think about it, these pillars are rather simple and rather intuitive, but unfortunately, the process to get player to both get quality players, onboard them, and keep them has been so overlooked. And I think that's really the focus of what we're going to be doing and trying to implement in with projects. Going to start small. It's a challenge to change the way project teams are thinking, but I think it is needed to get players from other blockchains, from other types of Web 2.0 atmospheres, to get them to trust and stick with projects. Plus, players that are already, say, in the Wax blockchain, they jump from project to project to project. I did a poll the other day where what happens if your project stops development for a certain period of time? How soon would you transition to a new project? The majority of people, I believe it was 30 to 40% of people said 1 week. And that is a problem. And that's not a problem with, well, it's a mindset with the players, but the mindset with the players is caused by all these cash grab sales that people are doing and not focusing on onboarding them and treating their player base the way they should. So that's what we're doing. That's why I'm doing this. I think it's incredibly important for the overall, not just Wax blockchain, but Web 3.0 in general, is as project teams to responsibly market and onboard and keep your existing players the correct way and stop these cash grab after cash grab after cash grab that really just alienates people and gets people frustrated and lose trust with the overall Web 3.0 gaming environment. So that's what I'm doing. So you're going to hear a lot from me from both on the Warrior Line gaming side, where I'm going to focus on players and giving you all as much information as possible. And then also on the Madlan media side, where I'm going to go ahead and try and help project teams responsibly market for the long term. It also helps me from Warrior Line Gaming. It allows me to be more sustainable and give you more content that you want to see, rather than dumping maybe a few sponsorships here and there. There will be, just because it makes sense. But I've started to learn that it limits a lot of the content I'm putting out there. So you'll still get a lot of beginner guides. You'll still get a lot of the strategy guides. You're still going to get a ton of game reviews. I'm going to try and continue to do as many of those as possible, hopefully 1 or 2 a week, to try and give you as much information both on Wax Games and Polygon and other gamings. So Warrior Line Gaming won't change, but hopefully Madlan Media will help the marketing strategy for all of Wax and all of Web 3.0, make an adjustment for the better for the long-term approach and really be player focused. So you're going to hear that a lot from me as far as player focused marketing, because I think it is needed. I think it's beneficial to both players and project teams. Players get they just get a better experience, and project teams get to have players for a longer period of time. And I think it just makes sense overall. And I'm surprised we've gone so far away from it. So hopefully this will help. So I appreciate any support, any tweets, any retweets, any support that you guys want to provide. I appreciate it, but I wanted to get this video out there to really explain why I'm doing this and what really is going to come from it. Hopefully it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be, it's always getting struggle to get people to change the way they think, but hopefully I'll be able to help with that process. If you have any questions, go ahead in the comments down below. Let me know. Feel free to DM me. You know, I always respond to my DMs. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions, concerns, and I appreciate if you all like and subscribe this video. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.